All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Bulgren. I am broadcasting to you today from Corvallis, Oregon, home of Oregon State University. Go Beavs. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about some of the work I've been doing with songwriting and guitar instruction and music instruction in a juvenile detention center. I've titled my presentation this morning, The Detention Song, Perceptions of Music and Songwriting Course in a Juvenile Detention Center. The detention song is a reference to a parody song that we created that I'll talk a little bit about more when I talk about facilitating creativity among these participants. So let's just get right into it here. Purpose statement. The purpose of my study was to examine music and songwriting instruction in a juvenile detention center. Okay. This study was guided by two research questions. What are the best pedagogical practices for music instruction in a juvenile detention center? And what are the best practices for teaching songwriting in a juvenile detention center? So those were the things that I set out to discover and analyze. I discovered so much more, which I will talk to you about here in the coming slides. So just a little bit about my setting. As a juvenile detention center that serves all genders, ages 12 to 17, so minors. I conducted a weekly songwriting course every Friday night for 20 weeks. And so that's just kind of a quick overview of the course and the setting. So my methodology, I use single case study methodology as outlined by Yin. I served as teacher as researcher, as outlined by Creswell. Just a quick side note that this was really valuable for me to come home, after every class and compile field notes. That's my next bullet point there. It was my, Friday night routine. I would pick up tacos for the family and go home and do my field notes. I spent a lot of time with these field notes, obviously writing them, and I spent a lot of time with them reading, just kind of getting to know them, and then coded them for emergent themes. So some of the codes, or the 5 codes that I will be talking to you about today, are song selection, differentiated instruction, emotional responses, technology, and creativity. So I definitely embraced a popular music pedagogy, popular music approach when teaching this course. I have 2 lists here of some of the music that we played over that 20-week period. And I've put this together as just a little talking point. One of the columns is songs that I brought to the group, and one of the columns is songs that the group selected. So maybe I'll take a quick beat here and maybe see if you can guess which songs I picked and which songs they picked. So lots of different styles. What part of what made teaching the course really fun and exciting, learning new music. I will say I have a slide here called The Country Conundrum. Jerry Humphreys in 2006 wrote about how music educators struggle to accommodate country and Western music. I would say that I got asked for a lot of country and Western music, and I did my best to accommodate it. I would say, musically, sometimes they're not the best pedagogically. We had a really good experience with The Dance by Garth Brooks. Whiskey Lullaby and My Kind of Crazy, maybe not great subject matter, and Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson. If it's not dirty, it at least sounds dirty. So I just wanted to take a moment and kind of acknowledge the difficulties I had in bringing country music to this group. So the next code is differentiated instruction. High turnover demands pedagogy for beginners and intermediate players. So I got really good at giving my speech about the parts of the guitars. When we're doing a chord, I'll give you a finger number, a fret number, and a string number. Really being sure I say that really clearly every week, because there's so much turnover. These kids are headed to programs or other places. So there is kind of, they're there a finite amount of time. Other differentiated instruction, songs on a single string. Seven Nation Army has just been a go-to for us. It's all, all on the A string. Sev, 10, Sev, 5, 3, 2, right? And I'm hollering out fret numbers for that. my next talking point here, I do want to acknowledge some of the resources I got from Little Kids Rock and Modern Band. The so-called easy chords are really effective in this setting. They're chords on just strings 1, 2, and 3. So for example, for a G chord, you would fret the 3rd fret of the 1st string and strum strings 1, 2, and 3, and that'll give you a G chord. And another component of differentiated instruction is just keeping their chord competency and their steady chord playing moving forward. I do this, 3 Little Birds in the key of A. Every Rose Has Its Thorn in the key of G, and some other songs in G like that. Hotel Yorba by the White Stripes, things like that that just operate in that 1-4-5, in a 1-4-5 form. Okay, next, I want to talk a little bit about some of the emotional responses. This first one is for me. Trying something new is difficult. I said that so many times. I'm very aware that frustrations can rise to the top, when playing guitar, trying to get your fingers in the right place. For example, I had one experience where this has happened to me more than once, where a student says, I can't do this, even though their fingers are right on the right frets and string numbers. So just kind of a sense of it's hard to do something new. And I would say that to them, I really appreciate you trying something new. This isn't always easy. A couple really powerful musical moments we had. One time a student said to me, can we do a Bob Marley song? I thought for sure he meant 3 Little Birds, but it was Redemption Song, which is perfect for this setting. If you want to give that a listen, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. So we had a really nice experience playing that, particularly playing the intro, nice little melody. Our other really powerful musical experience was with Easy on Me, and this was an entirely male group. One male was singing and playing keyboard. We do have one keyboard. I talk a lot about guitar because it's mostly a guitar class, but sometimes we do plug in the keyboard and play. So we had a really nice musical moment with one, student singing Easy on Me and all of us playing guitar. And it was really powerful for me. Technology. Technology in this course, I use a computer connected to a television quite a bit. A little bit of a computer connected to a projector, depending on what room we were in. And so I ran many of our songs from YouTube or from Little Kids Rock resources. I also did some work with BandLab. So for me, looking up the tab, showing it to them, and then using a play along with a computer connected to a TV. I really feel like that play along is the way to go, because it gives them that support to be playing with, so you have a recorded track happening underneath it. Okay, so creativity. We did some stuff with 1-4-5 blues, learned the 1-4-5 blues progression, learned a pentatonic blues scale. This was a way to sort of get us doing call and answer. And I did what I call a snapshot of the pentatonic scale here. So this is first position, just using 1, 3, 1, 3. I'm talking finger numbers here, 1, 3 on strings 3, 4, and 5. I was able to get to this because I had a student who was really into John Mayer, and I said, "Oh, that John Mayer's good." I also have a clip of him and B.B. King playing some of this blues stuff. So that was one of the ways I encouraged creativity among my participants. The other is songwriting. We had a parody of the Mickey Mouse Funhouse. Come inside, it's fun inside. But instead, we don't recommend you come inside, which was kind of a fun little parody that they did. And the detention workers had a laugh about it too. Another way I fostered creativity was just with just not shouting out, but popcorning out words. And we came up with these 4 words and wrote a song based on this. Oreo, paint, telescope, butterfly. Works for me. In conclusion, the course really fostered focus, creativity, and teamwork among the participants, I would say. I think there are implications for music for all. I think that Music in correctional settings is really powerful, but also, all students deserve the right to music, in my opinion. I would say for anyone considering this, good relationships with the detention workers is paramount. That was really important for me. They've worked really hard to accommodate me in my research. Weekly focused meetings did in fact lead to technical improvements over the course of the 20-week course. Conclusions continued. Results may guide pedagogy in corrections as well as in schools. So can we apply some of what we've learned to public schools? Are there students we see once a week who may not have time to practice? Is there a flexibility of pedagogy that we can give to them? I would also say every teaching job requires patience. I don't know if this setting requires more, but it requires a lot. And the importance of literature selection in participant investment. So when I was able to show up with the kids' songs and teach them songs that they asked for, it was really, really strong, really powerful, and upped the participation. That is my presentation for you today. Here is my email, chris.bulgren@oregonstate.edu. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to discussing this with you.